You're going to do our halo bricklayer wrap. So it's going to start in the front and then it's going to go turning. So it's like a horseshoe pattern on the top or big U. So we don't want it to go this way across. We want it to actually turn and eventually from a diagonal end up being horizontal. So from here to here to here. So almost pivoting around and ending up horizontal on the side. So to start off in the front, you're going to take the center front section. We're going to start with a white perm rod. We're going to go in one diameter, smooth that hair forward. Make sure you've got enough water on there so that it stays. I'm going to use bookend. So I'm going to go in, palm up, smooth my ends out, making sure that I've got that nice smooth edge. All my ends are nice and smooth and they're not pinched. I'm going to wrap it so that it's nice and secure on the perm rod. I'm going to wiggle it down to keep my tension nice and smooth across that rod. I'm going to hold it on the side with the elastic and then I'm going to go across. I'm going to then consider it like a brick wall. I want to go right in the center of this first perm rod and I'm going to use 2 half size because it's going to be smaller. So I'm going to go one way here, slightly bigger in the front, skinnier on the side. So slightly bigger in the center, skinnier on the side. I'm going to take a half size perm rod and I want to start getting it to turn a little bit. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to go in with my gray now because we're going to be alternating gray and white. Again, I want to smooth my ends out. Add water. I'm going to look for a small gray perm rod. Smooth it around. And hold. I take the elastic and go across. Then I'm going to continue doing the other side. So again, I want it to turn. So I'm going to tilt it slightly skinnier in the front hairline. And working my back into the center. Smooth that out. And again, the head is not square, so I need to go with the head. So when I was working on the top, I'm going straight out from here. When I'm working on the side, I'm going straight out from that parting. Again, I'm going to find a half size gray one. I'm going to wrap it down, making sure my tension is nice and smooth. Hold on the side with the elastic and go across. One white one, full size one, going right in the center here, smoothing it out, taking it forward, using an end paper, using the bookend wrap. I'm going to smooth that out, and in order to get this to eventually start to pivot a little bit, I'm not always going to finish right to the sides every time. So on this one, I'm going to do the center. I'm going to leave that little bit of hair that I have on each side. So I've got my one white like this. It's really too small here, and it's too small on this side. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go right into the center back, and then I'm going to take, it's going to be a diameter here, it's going to be skinny here, and then a diameter here. So it really goes on an angle, getting it to turn again. So again, here's my side. I've got the center back. I'm going to take a little bit more than a diameter. It's going to get skinny right when I get here, and then it's going to go right to the front so that I get the length of the perm rod there. So I'm going to get it to start to sort of turn for me. Again, I'm going to go into gray. So this is going to be a full size gray, combing it up, combing it away from me so I can get it a little bit on base. Using my bookend wrap. Again, that head is round, so I'm going to go with the round shape, coming out parallel from the head form. I'm going to use a gray full size one because we're on the next row. Wiggle my tension so it's really nice and smooth. Hold on the side with the elastic and go across. I'm going to move to the other side. So again, front hairline, skinny in one spot in the center, diameter on each end. I'm going to smooth this hair out on this side. Take an end paper, fold it together, add water to make sure my ends stay in control in the end paper. I'm going to use a gray perm rod. And we should have enough gray and white perm rods. We're alternating our rows. So we're going to do one white row, one gray, one white, working our way to the back. So now we've started to see, we've got in the front, we've got, if this had a pick in it, we have one here, two gray, one 2 gray again. I'm going to go back into the center. I'm going to now do a full-size white right down the center top, so right in that area there. So I'm going to do a full-size white right in the middle. I'm going to pull this up, and then I should be able to finish the sides on this time. So I'm going to pull this right up, bookend wrap, smooth my ends out. I'm going to go to white this time. So I'm going to take my white perm rod, make sure my tension is good, wiggle, make sure I'm getting it right in the center, holding on the side with the elastic, and going across. I now have room. I can do a half size white right here. So I'm going to take my half size white, I'm going to smooth this out. And again, I want it to turn and pivot so that I'm right now on a diagonal angle, and then I'm going to pivot and eventually be horizontal here. I'm going to take a half size white, smooth my ends out, make sure I can see them nice and smooth, roll it down onto that perm rod. I'm going to wrap it right down, hold on the side with the elastic, and go across. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm just repeating that process over here, elastic, and go across. So we now have a pattern starting on the top. I'm going to pick it so you can see it just a little better and it's not moving. So on the top here, as we get going, we've got our center going this way, and then you can see the pattern starting that way. So here's from the front. You have white, then gray, then white, didn't go all the way to the end, then turned the 2 gray, so it's starting to move. Then we've got our white. Now my next row is going to be gray. And again, I want to keep having it move so that eventually it's coming from here to here to here. So again, might not go all the way to the end. So I think I'm going to do 2 gray, big, full size. And then the next row we'll be able to probably pivot and do 3 full size white. So I'm going to go halfway in the center of the white, starting in the center. I'm going to go a gray one here, smoothing it out. Again, using the bookend process makes it easier. You can use whatever wrap you want in the way of end paper wrap. Most people just find it easiest to use the bookend wrap. We're going to go with gray because we're alternating our colors, making sure the ends are smooth. By alternating the colors, you're going to add a little variation in the curl size when you're done. We're going to go here. I'm going to move to the other side, again halfway from the center, working my way around to the side, and it won't make it all the way to the front. That's okay. I'm just going to do the 2, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to have a little bit left over. I'll get it in the next row because again we're trying to pivot on those sides. So smoothing that out, putting in a gray rod, working my tension down nice and smooth, holding and going across. Like it didn't go all the way down. We just went to here. I left that little bit. I'm going to get it in the next row. So again, doesn't have to finish the row. I'm going to catch it every second row, and it allows me to pivot a bit more because it's skinnier here, wider here. I'm going to go into the center. I'm going to be doing a white perm rod right in the center back. So right in here, if I take a look at the mannequin, right in the center of the 2 gray. Put that back on the mannequin stand here. Smooth this out. Once they sort of get to the ear level, everything else is just going to be horizontal straight down. But right now, I'm still working on pivoting this and creating that horseshoe effect. I'm going to wrap it down, wiggle, hold on the side with the elastic, and go across. Skinny here, and then full size again here. So there's my full size rod. I'm going to pull this straight out from the head. End paper, add water. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Continuing with my white, ends are nice and smooth in there, wrapping it to the perm rod, wiggling it down, holding it on the side with the elastic, and going across. So I've really started here, then moved. So it's here, then it goes here, then it goes here, then it goes here. So it's really from here, moving and pivoting. I am almost horizontal. The next one I'll be horizontal. Going to finish off this side as well. I'm going to do another row gray, and I'm probably going to do 2 gray, not continue with white. or gray. I'm going to do 2 gray, and then I'm going to continue with white in the next row. So halfway between the center, going straight across. I'm going to put my gray here. And smooth out the ends. Hold on the side with the elastic. Going to go from the center this way, again gray. So sometimes it's almost like pivoting, it's skinnier on one end, wider on the other end, just to get it moving with the shape of the head. Take my end paper. Add some water. Smooth that out. Wrap it all the way down. Hold on the side with the elastic. And secure. Going to go into the middle. Go with my white. I'll be able to do 3 white here. I'm going to do white, white, and by then it's horizontal, and then I just continue the bricklay pattern all the way down. So again, once I go in here, you can see that I'm going to be horizontal all the way around. So I'm going to do my center back, wrapping, smoothing my tension out, holding it with the elastic. Going to go over here, again, straight across, so I'm creating that horizontal line now. We're going here, smoothing this out. So that's sort of the hardest part, is getting the pattern going and eventually going from here to here to here to here. Once you've got here, everything is just a horizontal bricklay pattern, working it down all the way to the bottom. So from here on down, the pattern becomes a lot easier to figure out. It's just the top area that takes a little bit to figure out. So we've got there, and then we're going to go over to this side. I'm going to take a full white going across here. And again, sides might not exactly match. That's okay. You're working with the length of the perm rod, so don't try and squish more hair in there. If you need a half size on one side and full size on the other, you're going to make it work. You want to measure the length, and it shouldn't be any longer than the length of the perm rod. So here, I'm going to wrap that in, hold it, go across, and right here, I've got a little extra. So I'm going to take a half size white, and then it's the same as the other side. It's just here there's a half and a full. The other side has a full, but I still want to keep this so it's horizontal. So I'm going to put this in here. And then I'll just continue, always starting in the center back, all the way around here, going that way. Okay? And then the rest is keep going gray. I'm going to start here, center, working my way out. Then white, I'm going to go into the center, work my way, and everything else will be horizontal, and I'll finish off the head that way. We've got a row of white, then gray, then white, then gray, and all the partings never line up. So if you've got one here, you've got the 2 in the center of the next one. You've got 1 here, you've got 2 in the center. You've finished your bricklay perm wrap. So again, you've started at the top. You work your way sort of pivoting. So eventually these will go like this, and they will turn and work their way down so that you end up being horizontal by the occipital bone. You've got horizontal going all the way down, and we are horizontal at the sides. So at the sides, again, you see here, pivot, 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 and you're horizontal here. So everything should be going down. You should not have rods vertical. So you want to turn, getting it going on the top. You start off with your bricklay pattern, alternating gray, white, finishing off in the nape area, continuing to take equal diameter blocking size. And there is your horseshoe perm wrap.